What a great guest we're about to have on this next one. I think everybody wants to hear from this guy. He's been a starter in college football for the last 2 years. Has a lot of experience. 3 years at Michigan State. I think I just gave y'all a hint. So he's been part of the Big Ten, and now he's coming to the SEC to be with Coach Freeze. And one thing I've heard so much about this guy, man, that I really enjoy. I have yet to have a chance to meet him personally, but I look forward to it soon. Is his leadership, and how he galvanizes his teammates, and everyone speaks highly about that. They can say you can tell instantly that he has great leadership skills, and I look forward to hearing from him here soon. So, let's wait no longer. Let's bring in our guy Payton Thorne, a new transfer quarterback from Michigan State. Payton, how you doing? Oh, I can't hear you, Payton.
Sorry about that. You guys got me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Hey, you
Thanks
working
for
on a
having me
silent count. That's all. Hey, I'm Jason Campbell, former quarterback here at Auburn, 2000, 2004. Justin Hokanson, who works with Auburn, also Auburn Live on 3, and reports for Auburn as well. So, welcome to our podcast, the On to Victory podcast is our collective. To all the people that's watching, or our fans and subscribers that donate money to help our student athletes. And, the reason you're on here is because they want to get to know you. They want to know who you are. And you're the new guy, man. Every time you go to school or somewhere, the new guy, everyone wants to know who the new guy is. So Peyton, just talk a little bit about your transition, man. Like, how did you get to Auburn, and what did you like when you came on your visit?
Yeah, it's been great so far. I've been here for about 3 weeks now. So I came 2 weeks before workout started just to move into my new place, get acclimated with the area, and then also just meet as many guys as I can, before workout start, which was good. But a number of things happened in the last month that brought me here to Auburn. You know, some things that or a lot of things that are out there about why I came here are not accurate. The main reason I came here is Coach Freeze and Coach Montgomery, and seeing what they've done with quarterbacks and just seeing the offenses that they run. That really attracted me to this place, and also just everything that I've heard about the university and the football program and the fan base. It's awesome. And then obviously when I came on my visit and got to check out the new facility and meet more people, it was great. And I was here with my dad, and I left this place knowing that this was the place for me, and this was the best move for me in my future. So that's what brought me here.
Good deal.
Peyton, when you think about, and we were just sort of talking about this new age of the transfer portal and NIL too. It's just a different experience for college athletes now than it was, even just a handful of years ago. When you think about entering Michigan State, you start your career there. I mean, you're starting a career at a place, and you think that's where you're going to be, and then things change. How do you sort of mentally handle the adjustment and saying, okay, now I'm starting over. I'm at a new place. I mean, how do you just sort of kind of stay aligned and stay mentally in the fight going to a new place and versus, I mean, was it a shock when you're thinking, I'm not going to be at Michigan? Like when you came to the realization, I'm not going to be at Michigan State anymore. I'm going to start a completely new thing over here. How do you sort of make that transition and make it successfully?
Yeah, if you would have asked me 5 days before I entered the portal if I was transferring, I would have told you. I would have asked you what you're talking about. I really, it was a series of events that happened that brought me to enter the portal, and it all happened really quick. When I came to Michigan State, Coach D'Antonio recruited me. I came in, and I wasn't a super highly recruited guy, so I didn't have a ton of hype around me coming in, but the comparison that Coach D'Antonio and his staff made from day one was Kirk Cousins, and for me that was a high honor to be compared to him. And I came in with the goal of, doing what he did, and then also, I looked at his records right when I got there, the first day I got there, and wanted to break those, and that was a big thing for me. And so that was one of the hard things for me to leave Michigan State, but ultimately, the pros and cons it wasn't close. And so that's what brought me to Auburn. And, I enjoyed my time at Michigan State. There's a lot of great people there, a lot of great teammates and a lot of great relationships. But, I'm looking forward to this new chapter here. I'm extremely excited to be here and I'm not looking back.
Right.
I made this decision and it's all Auburn now and I love it and it's been great. And so getting here and getting started, I think the biggest thing is just developing the relationships with not just my teammates, but coaches. And then also just, the staff here at the football facility and getting to know people and getting to know people around campus and people like you guys who are involved with the university and the football program and just learning. I've been able to learn quite a bit so far. And like I said, just the relationships and building that with, most importantly, my teammates and then the coaches as well. And I think that's going well so far.
Yeah, you talk about Kirk Cousins, and I know Kirk very well from time in the National Football League, but I also know Brian Hoyer, who's another Michigan State alum that's been in the league for a while now. Um, Playing for a defensive guy is totally different than playing for an offensive-minded coach. You was with a defensive-minded head coach. Now you get a chance to come with Coach Freeze, who's more of an offensive-minded guy, and Coach Montgomery, who was just a head coach, and he's an offensive guy. So it's almost like, what a great gift, because you get two offensive-minded guys that both systems has been very successful, and now you're able to have two minds in one room to piece together a good game plan, and which makes your quarterback feel a lot more comfortable going into game after game after game, because you're working with someone that's pretty much got their hand on you on a day-to-day basis. Coach Montgomery, talk about the relationship with him and Coach Freeze, but talk about like the difference you've seen so far dealing with an offensive-minded head coach versus a defensive-minded head coach, and everything.
Yeah, obviously it's definitely going to be different, and it's going to be fun playing for an offensive head coach, and just having multiple coaches that I can work with. Obviously Coach Freeze has had a lot of success offensively. Coach Montgomery, his record speaks for itself. Coach Kent Austin, also
Yep.
is involved with the quarterbacks, which is going to be great. And then Coach Stone too. I mean, that's four guys right there that I can learn from and that I can always pop in and watch film with or go over different offensive schemes and stuff like that. So it's going to be really beneficial for me, I feel like. And that was a big reason why, I decided that this was the move for me. And, I haven't gotten a complete feel yet of what it's like playing for an offensive head coach, just because obviously we haven't been put in any even practice situations yet for me.
Yeah.
But just talking with Coach Freeze and, the little bit that I've been able to talk with him so far, obviously, he's on the road doing all the different stuff that he has to do right now, but he'll be back here soon and I'll get a chance to talk with him more, which would be great. But I haven't gotten a total feel for it yet, but I know it's going to be different and it's going to be fun playing quarterback underneath the offensive head coach.
Payton, let's be real. All right, let's be real. You come into Auburn in the situation you are. I cover Auburn for Auburn Live and On 3. So we're a fan site. We have a message board. I hear it all day, all the time. I know what the fans are thinking and saying. Okay, there's a lot of expectations on you, and I'm sure you know that. And it's probably nothing more than you put on yourself in terms of what kind of player you want to be and where you want to take Auburn. How do you come into this program knowing, hey, I'm coming into a situation where I've got an opportunity to start? Auburn has struggled for the past couple of years. You want to get Auburn back. You have a new head coach in Hugh Freeze who wants to make an impact and get things off on the right track. But there's a lot of expectations, I think, on this team, but on you coming in. And I think you're probably fully aware of that. How do you sort of handle that coming in, doing the work, and trying to meet those expectations, both external and certainly internal for what you have and what you want to be as a college football quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say the first thing that comes to mind is, people would say pressure is a privilege. I'm sure you guys have heard that. Everybody's heard that.
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing. I feel like, obviously there's been some good things that have happened that has gotten me to this point. And, I point to God, and because there's the things that happened for me to be here, it's not, I don't believe in coincidences. And so, I feel like there's a reason that I'm here. I feel like there's a reason that somehow, the series of events that happened brought me to this point. And but yeah, in terms of the pressure and all that stuff, first off, I really don't see much of it. I don't see what the fans are saying much of. I've run into some people here out and about, and so they've said certain things, but I feel like I've played. I played in the Big Ten. It's not obviously people always say means more, and I've definitely felt that down here so far,
Yeah.
and I love it. I've always wanted to honestly live in the South, and so getting to be down here is awesome. And but yeah, as far as that goes, I'm not on social media much at all.
Smart.
I deleted Twitter last year just because it was pointless, and even without football, I don't think I'd be on it because just all negativity and all that. So I'm off that. Instagram, the only reason I have that is, just for different purposes of, building your brand, and everybody talks about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's about it with that. So, and I don't even have TikTok. So, I'm very minimal with my social media, so I don't hear a ton of it. But, like you said, I have high expectations for myself too. And, I hold myself, I feel like, to a high standard, and I'm coming in here to work hard and, do what I can to put myself in a good situation to help this team to win games. And, I believe I have a process that's set forward that is going to give me a chance to do that. And I feel like I've surrounded myself in my life with a lot of great people. And then coming here, I feel like I'm surrounded by a lot of great people. So just praying, honestly, and then working, you know. It all comes down to what you put forward, and that's what you're going to get out of it. So, showing up every day like I have something to prove to myself and to my teammates and my coaches.
Yeah, like I said, man, what speaks volumes about a person is so much what you do rather than what you say. That's the thing about it. Like your teammates seeing your work ethic, fans seeing your work ethic, seeing how much you care about drive, see how much you care about winning. How fast you respond to a tough game. I played the position. There's gonna come tough games. There's gonna come some games you just light it up. But how you bounce back from those tough games in the SEC is the key to success. Being able to adapt quickly and just saying, all right, next play, move on. We'll fix that in the meeting room. We're moving forward, not getting hung up on things that's behind you that you can't fix at that point. Those are the key things in being successful in the SEC, Big Ten. Like I said, you play college football, you come in here with a ton of experience. Your new thing, I feel like, for you would be just adapting to, like you said, just being here. Just new teammates, new coaching staff. Everyone has a job to do, and as a quarterback, yes, you are a big centerpiece, but you can't do everybody's job.
Right.
Your job is to try to get everyone to get on board to what's the most common goal for everybody on this team, and that's to win. And if everyone has that same goal in mind, that end goal in mind is victory on the scoreboard, then everyone should be putting in forth the effort to get there. And what you do on the field, what you do off the field, be able to help galvanize these guys, because that's what a true leader is, and that's what you kind of bring. That's what I've heard about you and everything. So I think you'll be great in that aspect, and I think, man, you're gonna be so excited when you run through that tunnel. You go through Tiger Walk. I know you probably heard about Tiger Walk, especially when we play Georgia. It's going to be so many fans out there for Tiger Walk. You walk down through there and you go into the locker room, Justin, and he's going to have those goosebumps on his arms. Can't wait to get to the game. And then all of a sudden you look up and it's 90-some thousand people, and people just going crazy, because there's no NFL teams in Alabama. You got Auburn and you got Alabama pretty much. So you're not competing against where, in Michigan, you got Detroit, and I may be missing another team, but you don't have any NFL teams. So quarterbacks are a big brand in the state of Alabama. You win games, people are behind you. Thing about Auburn is you love Auburn, Auburn's gonna love you back. You hear that a lot, but it really is true volume. I just wanted to just say that to you. But moving forward, though, talk about some of the things that you've seen from a lot of the weapons, because you got guys that they bringing in with you. You got yourself, and then you got the receivers they went and got. They built the offensive line for you before they got you, and the offensive line with Avery Jones at the center position. Then you got, you got Gunnar Britt and Dylan Wade, and the list goes on. You're about 9 deep now. Last year, this offensive line is totally different than what it was the last 2 years. And I think, man, you have a great supporting cast around you. Have you had an opportunity to meet any of your new offensive linemen and some of the new receivers that you'll be working with?
Yeah, it's been great meeting those guys and getting to know them and kind of hearing, where they're from, what they like, all types of stuff like that. When I got down here, I got to meet Gunnar right away. He actually lives in my complex, so that's been good. We went out to eat a couple times, and so that's been great. Meeting some of the guys that have been here has been good too, offensive line guys. And then, talking with D Wade, getting to meet, Avery and guys like that has been great, and working out with those guys and getting to see how they move, all that. And then, the receivers has been good too. They've been filtering in. A couple guys got here, couldn't start working out right away. They got to do the compliance stuff when they get here. So we're getting started rolling with that. And, obviously meeting the receivers that have been here. Some of them are transfers too, that have only been here for maybe a year, maybe a semester. And you guys know how that goes. So just meeting those guys and throwing with them and getting the timing down and really just working out with them and seeing how they work. So it's been great so far. And then being in the film room with them a little bit. We'll get more of that going here as time goes on, and, really attacking this summer with those guys and getting the timing, like I said, that stuff down, learning how guys like to run routes, all that. So it's been great.
Yeah, you mentioned the receivers coming in. How big is this summer, man? Because you've got to get used to everybody. You've got to build those relationships. You've got receivers that are coming back that were on the roster, and then you've got guys coming in brand new, whether it's Jair Shorter, Shane Hooks, and others. So I mean, you've got just a number of different ways that this thing has to come together. And the summer, to me, is where it certainly – it didn't all happen there, but that's where it's going to start here in these next month or two before you get to fall camp. You guys just out there working on your own, building the relationship, building timing and all that. How huge is this summer? I don't fans are on the outside sort of going on vacation, right? And they're going to show up in August and read about fall camp. And they don't know the work you're about to put in these next 2 months or understand how important it is, man. How big are these next 2 months to you?
It's extremely important. And I see it as, literally every single day we got to be taking advantage, because when you look at it, we're probably 60-something days away from, if that, from fall camp. And so just taking advantage of each and every day, and whether that's going out there and throwing, which is most days, but also when you got to rest the arm, rest guys' legs, it's watching film. And that's extremely important to be able to take the film examples and then apply it to the field. And honestly, the summer, like you guys said, is huge because you're able to work out there without structure, which is great, actually. And you're able to go out there and run routes and say, okay, if this coverage is being played this way, or if this corner is playing with this leverage, this is how we got to run this route. And so you work on those things, and that's not something you really get to do a ton during practice, because practice is so high tempo. And so this guy's up, then this guy's up, then this guy's up, and you're just running through stuff that you don't get as detailed of work. You still do, but when you're out there by yourselves in the summer, you could be out there for 3 hours if you really want to. And, that's rare that you are out there for that long, because you can only run so many routes. But sometimes you're sitting there and you're literally just talking through stuff, and it's not always, completely structured, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, spending that time together is the key, especially this time of the season, because coaches are very limited on how much time they can be out there with you guys during this time of the year. So I don't even know what the numbers are now as far as like how much time. I remember when we was in college, it was 2-3 hours per week or something that they can have with you on the field, and the rest of the time, it's up to you guys to get everyone out there together. Just talk about coming to Auburn and walking into a quarterback room, whereas other guys has kind of been here and everything. What is that like? How do you build that relationship with those guys and coming in where all y'all competing and working hard to help the team win? But what is it like being a transfer quarterback coming into a room and everything as the guy that's the other guy coming in?
Yeah, you come in and you meet the guys, and obviously we're all working for the same thing. We're all working to play. We're all working to win. So coming in and just, not being that guy who's, trying to do too much. If you know what I'm,
Hmm.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I was a quarterback who had a transfer guy come in 2 years ago, going into my redshirt sophomore year. So I've been on the other side of it to where I can see what it was like. And so I've definitely drawn from that experience of being a guy who was at a place when a transfer came in. And, obviously now I'm that guy who's coming in. So, um, it's a different experience, and I've learned some do's and don'ts, I feel like. And so I'm trying my best to apply that now to my situation I'm in right now.
Good deal.
Yeah, that's so smart because you're right. I mean, it's a delicate deal where you're coming in and you're trying to start and you're trying to win, but you've got guys that have been in the program that are gonna maybe feel a certain way or not. But I mean, you just got to come in and do your job and hope that it all meshes and be a good teammate and all that good stuff. Um, Man, thinking about you coming to Auburn, and I think you've got what 2 years of eligibility, it potentially remaining. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir. Yep. Yep. Yes, sir.
How do you sort of come in with that? You could be here 1 year, you could be here 2 years. What's sort of your mindset day to day right now when you've got the potential of coming in here and being here for 2 years, or you could come in and kill it and leave after a year? How do you sort of approach what you've got left in college?
Just like you said, it's day to day. I'm really not thinking about the postseason or anything like that. Right now, my focus is, getting this offense down, mastering the offense, knowing every single little detail of it, like I did with my past offense, so I can be as effective as I can, and getting to know my teammates. That's gonna take care of itself when it gets here. Obviously, like you said, I do have 2 years of eligibility left, but I'm not making any decisions anytime soon on
Yeah,
anything like that. The last 2 years, if I had a good year, I could have left type thing. So I've been,
yeah,
draft eligible for a couple years now. So it's kind of the same mindset I've had. I'm not too concerned about that because that's going to take care of itself. The work that I put forth now is going to, put me in a position to have that decision. And that's my goal, is to be able to have a decision to make, and that
yeah.
ultimately would mean that we won a lot of games,
Hmm.
and that I did my job for our team and played well. And so that's my focus right now. I'm not focused on the next level right now. I'm focused on getting as good as I can be with the gifts God gave me, and helping my teammates be the best that they can be, and then helping us win games. That's the ultimate goal for me, and all that stuff will sort itself out when that time comes.
Yeah, like I said, one mindset, one thought process, one mindset at a time. Like I said, you're on the right path, man. You're like I said, welcome. Glad you're here at Auburn and everything. But before we let you go, I have to ask you an NIL question, and I have to give you quick rapid fire 5 questions. You give me 5 quick answers, just for our fans and Auburn family to get to know you a little bit more. Just from NIL, the landscape has changed for college sports, for student athletes. You get a chance now to make money off your name, image, and likeness. But what has NIL meant, you think, to student athletes? What has it meant to you? What of help has it been, for people to give to NIL?
It's been a great help, honestly, for me. In the last couple of years, and being able to make some money has been great, because it's taught me about money, and it's given me a
Mm,
chance to learn about how to use money, how to utilize money, and then also just learning the ins and outs of, you know you hear how people say use your money to make more money, and that
yeah.
type of thing. And so I've learned a lot about that. I've gained an interest in investing and stuff like that. And so I'm trying to be smart with the money that I've been able to make. And you know my mom is actually a CPA, so she helps me out with that
Oh,
kind of stuff,
Nice. That's
which is
huge.
yeah.
good. And
Yeah, that's huge.
so she's been a great help. But yeah, it's been really beneficial for me to be able to have some money to spend on certain things, and then also be able to invest it, which has been great. So I'm very thankful for that, and I felt like it's hit at a good time for a guy like me. It was brand new, what, 2 years
Yeah.
ago, and now obviously
Yeah.
it's developing into more and more.
Yeah, timing is everything, and
Yep.
like I said, timing is the key. Now, I'm telling you this though: if you go out to Lake Martin, you said you want to live in the South. If you like to play golf, they got a nice golf course, and they're building another one that they're about to open up here in July. So, Lake Martin could be in your future one day.
I've heard that's an awesome place. We actually might be going out there here either this weekend or next weekend. So I'll be excited to check it out.
Yeah, get out there and play some golf a little bit. Yeah, enjoy yourself. All right, quick rapid fire 5 questions. Let's get to know our man here a little bit, Justin. First one, if you could talk about if you can go back to younger Payton Thorne in high school, what would you tell him now?
Oh man, it's a tough question. I'd say just stay focused on the stuff you care about and don't let anything on the outside get involved. And not that anything, had me super distracted, but just, keep your eye on the things that you should. And for me, that's, my faith, my family, and, the great people that are around me, which, I feel like has got me to this point. So stuff like that. And then just have fun with the journey and take advantage of the opportunities that come as the road goes on.
What do you look forward to? What do you most look forward to at Auburn?
Game day, probably getting out on that field and playing and being out there with my teammates and scoring touchdowns and hopefully, finishing on top every week, winning games. So I said that's number one.
All right. So I've asked these questions to a lot of athletes that come on here, and everyone, for whatever reason, people like to know, what do you guys like to eat the night before a big game or right before a big competition? What's your go-to meal before a big competition?
Yeah, so we had a pretty set meal where I've been, and I'm sure it's very similar here. But I'd usually eat steak, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. I remember was on the menu. Gosh, what else? I know the night finished with apple pie
Oh,
and some
man.
ice cream,
Talking my language.
and then there's something else I'm missing. Some form of bread.
Mm.
Yeah, there was something else I can't remember though.
Yeah, so you
Get
like to
some
get
good
your carbs, your good
hydration stuff.
protein. Yeah, your carbs,
Yep.
your protein. Tell you now, Peyton, I love a good apple pie and some ice cream. I don't know about Justin over there. He really fit, but I work out just to eat good. Put it that way. I work out to eat good. So, other thing, do you have any rituals or superstitions or anything like that you from sports?
No, not really. I did in high school.
Mm,
But when I got to college, I kind of wanted to get rid of that because I don't want to be locked up by superstition. And then,
all right.
one thing gets thrown off and then you're in a, you know,
That's true.
you're just
Right.
all over the place, So I did my best to get rid of that. I pray before every game on the field. And so that's about the extent of my superstition. But I definitely had some in high school.
Yeah. I know I used to not have any. I tried to get rid of them because I was like you. Some people like to wear the same sock or the same shirt, underneath shirt, or something. I'm like, man, that's too much to think about.
Right.
I'm like you. Let me just pray about what I need to go out here. Let me just stay calm, visualize making plays before the game start, and go out here and play ball and everything. Next question. Who's your favorite sports hero growing up?
Growing up, my favorite sports hero was probably Derrick Rose. Growing up just outside of
Oh,
Chicago,
That's a good one.
I
okay.
Yeah.
love Derrick Rose. And I would
Yeah.
watch there was one season I watched the Bulls, and I think I caught all 82 games at some point in the game.
Dang.
Like, I loved the Bulls, and so I hated LeBron growing up because he always was taking the Bulls down in the playoffs. But I loved the Bulls. Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, Luol Deng, all of them.
Okay.
Man, D Rose, that's a good. I mean, golly, D Rose is one of those athletes that falls in the what if category.
Oh,
If he
man.
just that injury, he is one of the most explosive point guards, NBA players there has ever been. He's unbelievable,
Yeah,
and he's still
awesome.
going. He came back. I mean, he's still playing and still productive for some teams. Man, that was
Well,
awesome.
you got to think he was
He
the
is.
he was explosive. You know how Ja Morant's explosive. He was
Yeah.
just as explosive before his knee injury.
Oh
Like
yeah.
dunking
Oh,
on
yeah.
guys and jumping over guys. Even coming out of Memphis, where he played at Memphis and then went on to the Bulls. Like they had a good run before he had the knee injury. And you're right, he's a huge what if man. What if he
Yeah.
stayed healthy? Type guy. All right, I'll say last two. Before a big competition, you got a big game coming up. Georgia coming up, LSU coming up. Great atmospheres, excitement everywhere. What do you do to calm your butterflies?
If you're prepared, there's really not many butterflies. And I've noticed that since high school. Going into my first high school game, I thought for sure I was going to get nervous at some point, and I
Yeah,
was kind of waiting for it, and then it just never really happened. So I think that it comes from confidence, and then when you walk out there extremely confident, that comes from being prepared, and that all happens during the week, and it happens right now, honestly. And putting the time in, putting the time in the film room, putting the time on the field, and then when you walk out there, you're just confident, and so you're just ready to play. So you walk out there, away games, and the crowd's going nuts. I'm fortunate now to have played in a few games where it's been, some pretty wild crowds, and so it's not going to be, you know, completely foreign to me. Obviously, it's going to be rocking, and it's going to be different stadiums that I haven't played in now, and so I'm extremely excited to experience that. But um, I don't really have a go-to. Once you
yeah,
get hit, the first time you get hit, it kind of all goes away. So,
yeah.
but I don't really get too antsy before games, honestly.
Yeah, if I know as a quarterback, for me, it was always either the first hit or the first completion.
Right,
And then you're ready to roll. You just
right,
want to get that first completion. That was always a key for me. Just I don't care if it was a quick throw or whatever. Get that first completion and we're going.
exactly.
And everything. But Auburn has traditions. We have Tiger Walk. We have Rolling Tumors Corner. They probably gonna make you try Tumors Lemonade at some point. I don't know. But what is your most? What is the Auburn tradition that you're looking forward to the most?
Oh man, the Tiger Walk's definitely up there. Just experiencing that. They told me when I got here that the walk is longer than you think. Um, but obviously, I've seen the pictures. Walking single file is with all the fans out there is going to be awesome. And so I'd say that's number one right now. But I still have more to learn. I'm sure there's still a couple of things I don't know about just yet. So as of right now, that'd probably be number one, and it'd be exciting to walk out there week one.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, Peyton, we appreciate you coming on the show. Our fans and Auburn family enjoyed it, and definitely we look forward to having you back again, probably some point during the season. Wish you much health and success this off season, and War Eagle, and welcome to the Plains. And like I said, continue to get to know people, continue to build relationships. It's so very important because once you're done playing ball, you never know. You may want to come back to Auburn and do something in some form or fashion. So build as many relationships as you possibly can, and continue to push your teammates. Continue to be a leader. No pressure, man. Like I said, you do what you do. You're well prepared, and everything else, take care of yourself. Worry, good buddy.
Absolutely appreciate you guys. We'll talk soon, and War Eagle.
Worry.
See you, Peyton. Appreciate it, man.
All right, Auburn family, Auburn fans, the Own Collective, Own to Victory Collective has had a great podcast today. Man, what three exceptional athletes and three exceptional people. They all talked about, just character as far as like what they would tell themselves as a younger person. It means they're learning things that they continue to go. I always like to ask that question because it tells me, what have you learned about yourself over these last couple of years since you've been out of high school? Because we're always in a learning curve. But you think about, the leaders that we have on this team, Payton Thorne coming in, being an instant leader. You get Jason Jones, who transferred from Oregon last year and got a chance to get his feet wet, but this year looking to take on a bigger role of leadership and being able to utilize his big ability at 6'6", 310. Then you talk about, Shelby Lowe coming in as a left-hand pitcher. Maddie Pencer gets a lot of attention because she is a great pitcher as well. But Shelby Lowe is just as exceptional. She's an exceptional player too. And hearing from her, the ride that she had to overcome, that injury, for a lot of people that don't understand what that nerve in your arm does from an injury standpoint, it is a long recovery. And then after a long recovery, it is a confidence to get back out on that field, to be able to do certain things and to be able to throw that ball with confidence that your arm is not going to bother you again. So, what a good story that she had and everything. And Justin, it's been great having you on today as a co-host. Always an exceptional job and everything as you continue to cover Auburn sports and Auburn Live on 3 and everything here. And man, you got a lot to cover this summer. You got a lot to cover. We got some newcomers on the way, and you got this high school kids that came in. Some came in January, some just got here Memorial Day weekend. You got the new transfer guys coming in. I'm not even sure if the transfer portal is even over yet. I'm not sure if there's still some JUCO guys we may sign. I'm hearing about a JUCO cornerback. I'm not, we've been on the air, so I haven't had a chance to check into that just yet. But it's always like something is changing. It's an evolving door, and this door probably won't be shut until we get to fall camp.
Yeah,
and that's when you know who's all on your football team.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at the point now where it's graduate transfers could still happen. But yeah, it's crazy, man. The portal is just is bonkers. I mean, basketball, basketball is just now kind of finalized. I mean, think about that. When did the basketball season end? And just in the last few days, the basketball roster is pretty much finalized, and football too. It adds a couple of months to the off season for these sports. The portal does, but yeah, it should be a pretty interesting summer. Everybody's gearing up. Really liked what I heard from Payton Thorne. Seems like a down to earth guy. Seems like he's got his head on straight. Quality individual. Seems like the kind of guy that can come into a new situation and be a leader, and not let the moment get too big. Not let the hype get to him. I mean, it'd be easy for him to come in and and read what people are expecting of him, and get a sweet NIL deal. We saw it. He's posted that picture. We didn't ask him about it, but he posted that picture of a new truck that he got. Probably as an NIL deal with a car dealership or something. It'd be easy for him to come in and think, I'm the guy, I'm the savior. I got to come in and bring this program back, that kind of stuff. But didn't sense that at all. I think he's the kind of guy that'll have his priorities straight and focused and where it needs to be to build this football team back. So really impressed listening to him. I think Auburn got a good player and a good person and a good culture fit. You hear Hugh Freeze talk about that culture fit. That guy seems to be a really good fit. So should be an exciting couple of months as they lead into August, and then things will really get going this August with fall camp and football. But man, you hear the story, you hear those guys, and if you're a fan thinking about giving to On to Victory, or you're already a part of it and you're sort of getting used to it, you listen to those student athletes. That should encourage you, and that's why you give and support these collectives, because you're supporting the student athletes you just heard, really quality people, quality human beings. They're trying to enjoy their college experience, and you have a chance to make that certainly better and provide some opportunities for them. And it's really awesome. So I think if you're a part of it, you listen to those people, and it should be encouraging listening to those student athletes tell their stories.
Yeah, like I said, hearing Payton, he sounds very mature. Very mature. Coming into this situation, you kind of need someone that's mature. Auburn's had 2 rough seasons. It's been a lot of chaos, a lot of different things. And when you're trying to rebuild the ship and you're trying to get things going in the right direction, it takes a certain level of maturity and a certain level of understanding. And it seems like he fits that protocol of this moment right now that Auburn is in. So, look forward to seeing how all this transpire, how everything comes together, this team building, these guys getting to learn each other, because yes, we look good on paper right now, but we still kids got to build chemistry together. They got to start playing together and start building a rapport with each other. And that stuff takes time. And as you well know as anything, Justin, if this season we can start off winning early. Then that continuity, that energy, and all that other stuff just takes off a little bit faster. It becomes very contagious really quickly. So, we just look forward to seeing what happens this fall. But like you were saying, portal's changing all the time. Basketball is almost done with this portal. We got some really good exceptional athletes there as well. So this is an exciting time. Everyone's going to be talking about what the story is going to be for this fall. This is why summer is so much fun, because everyone has all these perfect ideas, or, I think the team going to do this and team going to do that. And the good thing about Auburn, we're kind of riding under the radar a little bit. Even though we got all these transfer portals and everything, people are still not giving us the credit just yet. And that's good, because that means we typically do pretty well when we're in that situation. That means guys are working hard. Their mind is focused on how do we get victory after victory, and how we stack these wins together. So let's look forward to seeing what happens. All right, on to Victory Collective. I'm Jason Campbell, your host, my co-host today, Justin Hokanson. Thank you for your time. Look forward to our next episode and seeing who our next guest is. So stay tuned. Continue to subscribe and support this podcast as we try to continue to bring you exceptional student athletes week in and week out as part of our On to Victory Collective. Thank you, and War Eagle.